Hi, and welcome to Porch Time with Bill Benson. And I'm having too much fun on the porch. Time goes by so quickly. And on this episode, I have friend and Connecticut State Troubadour, Kate Callahan. Kate, thank you.
Bill, thanks for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So the biggest part of the show is who's sitting in the guest chair.
All right.
So
happens to be me
it happens.
tonight.
Yes, it does. So play something quickly, and well, you don't have to play quickly, but play something.
Play something right away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tuned up for a song off of my Two Doors album. It's called Alexandra.
So that's a certain tuning.
It's a certain tuning.
Yeah.
Built off of the open D tuning, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Right.
Yep. And yeah, and this is the.
I love that.
Little nugget.
yeah, that is absolutely the nugget. So you've been writing music now for how many? Decades?
Close, yeah, a couple decades,
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah, yeah. And where did you first find the place or the voice that you wanted to speak to and project?
Well, I was in a phase of my life, I was about 21 years old, and my life path took a course that I hadn't expected, and I was in recovery from traumatic brain injury, which I sustained when I was 19. And so I withdrew from college to rehabilitate. And so about 2 years into the recovery, maybe 3 years, I knew that if I wanted to bring back myself, bring back my personality, bring back the things that animated me, I would need to do something creative. I would need to step away from the occupational therapy and the physical therapy and the speech therapy.
Right.
And so I decided I would learn to play the guitar, and I found Jamie Sherwood, who has taught many of us here in this Connecticut area. And Jamie treated me like I could do anything that any of his other students could do. And over the course of about a year, I developed enough as a guitarist that I was able to start accompanying myself. And I guess it was envy that really led me to finding my voice. I would watch other musicians out there in the world, other singer-songwriters. I would melt whenever I'd see a woman with a guitar on stage. And out of a sense of envy, I finally came home one day to my parents' house where I was living, and I said, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna say something.
Right.
And so I was about 22 years old when that happened.
And do you recall that moment? And I think we all have this, but do you recall that moment where you wrote something down on a pad and you played the chords, the melodies, and you said, "Oh yes, I have something to say and I can do this"?
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. Up until that point, I didn't believe I had anything to say, but surviving the brain trauma and recovering from that made me kind of fearless. I kind of felt like, all right, I've had something major happen here, and if the universe is kind and merciful, I'm probably going to be okay for at least a couple more years.
Right.
So a sense of fearlessness came out of me, and I did just start writing a song, and it was called "Love for This World," which I couldn't play it for you now, but what a sweet sentiment to come from somebody who had gone through something so painful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and now, all these years later, you are a Connecticut State Troubadour. I follow you, and I've seen you play, and you play just about everywhere. And you are wrapping up a new album right now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. And does that album have a cohesive message to it?
It's an optimistic album.
Yeah.
That's where I go in times like we're facing, here in our country and around the world. I tend to get real. I tend to get real and acknowledge what's disconnected in our world, but then the way I process that disconnection, disconnection from kindness, disconnection from respect, disconnection from humility. We're seeing all that in our leadership in this world, and so I take that disconnection and I connect to what I can sense and feel and maybe perceive to be positive. So, sometimes we need to see the underbelly to understand that there's light on the other side of it. So this album is a reflection of that positivity and that sense of light, hope, strength, and good music.
Right, absolutely. So play another song.
All right. Speaking of hope and all that jazz, this is one from the new album.
Great.
And I actually wrote this one for the city of Hartford. And 2 years ago, the city declared April 14th, look for the good day. And so they held a concert in Elizabeth Park in Hartford and asked me to write something for it months in advance, and I came up with this. It's called
Nice.
Look for the Good. Everywhere a wall stands bare between your fear and your life. Well, a wall, like your pride. And if we look for the good, we'll get on the other side. And when you're broken, your heart is frozen, lift your head, lift your eyes, and see the sun. And I feel its size. And if we look for the good, we'll get on the other side. Well, you got fear, you got a mess, you got a fight and embarrassment. Oh, you got all the time inside to see things right and embrace it. And all this ground beneath your feet, it grows for good, it grows for life. Let nature speak. Go ahead, confide. And if we look for the good, we'll get on the other side. And the crumbling of a thousand walls is by design. And the crumbling of a thousand walls is by design. Open, love, embrace, involve, invite, inspire, it's time. And love, 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 love. Open, love, embrace, involve, invite, inspire. It's time.
You know, when I have people like you on this porch,
It's right here.
it's right here. You are an inspiration to me as a songwriter, as a lyricist, as a musician. And I listen to your words. I listen to, and probably going to steal something from there and the tuning or whatever. But it's just such an inspiration to know someone like you, who really is doing, and I like to think that I am on that path, but that you are doing something that really is inspiring and really gives to other people in your world. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Bill.
And one of the you're not only the state troubadour, but speak a little bit about your work in the prison system.
Sure. I'll start by saying that the application to become the Connecticut State Troubadour is very thorough. And one of the elements of the application is writing a narrative about what you would like to use this platform for. And I had a years-long dream of wanting to work with inmates. I didn't know if I'd want to work with men, women. I didn't know how or when or why, but it was just something I carried within me. And so when I started filling out that application to be state troubadour, I thought, now's the time. Whether I get this or not,
right.
I'm going to put it down in words, and I'm going to put the intention out there to work with the prison population, and do it now. And so when I was selected as state troubadour, I said, okay, now I got to make this a reality.
Right.
And so I worked with the Department of Corrections for over a year, for about 14 or 15 months, before they gave me the green light to implement a program. And it's a grant-funded program, so I have independent grant funding outside of, it's not funded by the Department of Corrections. But I'm bringing a vocal empowerment program to women at York Prison. And the message I'm carrying to them is that while they may find themselves right now without resources, they will always have one innate resource, their voice.
Right.
And that empowering their voice through music, through singing, through spoken word, through telling their stories, the empowerment of their voices will hopefully enable them to make positive change in their lives. And I'll tell you, these women are wonderful.
Is there something that, I think that, certainly in that situation, there's a preconceived notion that the people that are there are bad or they're whatever, right? But is there one thing or a couple of things that, having gotten close in their world, that you can dispel the mystery or the preconceived notion?
Yeah, these women they have incredible perspective because of where they're finding themselves in their lives. So their perspective is deep as deep goes, and they're gifted. One is a published author, another is a yoga teacher, another is a mother. One sings like she's a soul singer up on stage. So years ago, I kind of had my own awakening and realized that I was viewing the prison population as other than me, and I had a real kind of existential crisis, and a lot of things shifted for me during that time. But one of them was understanding that this population of people are no different from me, and are where they are because they got caught.
Right. And they got caught, and their life, began a certain way, and maybe they didn't have the resources or the intervention to keep them from, making some of the, unfortunate choices that have put them where they are.
Yeah.
So I just want you to play more music.
Okay. I think I'm gonna Let's see. I'm going to come up to standard tuning.
All right.
Maybe I'll do this one. I played this one for the women the first night I came in, and they loved it. This
Nice.
is called Random Acts. Well, I took a book, I opened a page, and you watched me smile and asked me to read one line from the top, maybe more than that. What is God gonna make of this random act? And the lines they read as if you were told to be living in trust of the wind when it blows. So you're letting go of old chords you have found. What is God gonna make of this random sound? And oh, night, oh, oh, there's a shift in your life. And oh, morning, while you lift up in the veil without warning. Oh, oh. And the Ganges surfaces in all my dreams. I wake up weeping from all I've seen. And an old man limps with a child on his back. What is God gonna make of this random act? When the river runs wide and the river runs long, and people are bathing themselves on the banks, and the Westerners feel that this must be wrong. What is God gonna make of this random song? And oh, night, oh, oh, there's a shift in your life. And oh, morning, while you lift up the veil without warning. Oh, oh. And And the land I walk on gives me power. The power I pray, it opens me to the living infusion of all that's around. What is God gonna make of this random sound? And I've been walking all day, and the sun gives its way to the moon, and I know I have come right here for the path. What am I gonna make of this random act?
Yes, yes. So, and your ladies just kind of connected with it.
They, I go in and I start our nights with a song, and I finish our nights with a song, and I tend to have a spiritual perspective in the music that I write, but not all of the music I write.
Right.
But when I play the spiritual songs, they want to hear those, and they want me to go and learn more from the, pick up hymns from the church, and I've heard it said that if you want to find some of the most spiritual people on the planet, go to the prisons.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that because their life is, I mean, it's controlled. It's a cell. It's a, it's, searching for forgiveness in some way, and they've had a difficult life and difficult time. So, I find some of that same spirituality or connection with, I work in healthcare with the elders, and so, it's not exactly where they chose to be, but it's where they are. So make a difference for them, or maybe you can make a difference for them. And
Yeah,
it's just,
I think.
and we as ambassadors of music, and hopefully of good people and good vibes and so on, whether it's in a prison, a nursing home, or at Stop and Shop, it's kind of our responsibility and as a human to make a difference to someone.
And that's all it takes is just one person, one
act.
Connection, one random act. Exactly.
So unfortunately, the porch just goes by so quickly.
Oh, wow.
And thank you so much for coming on and sharing. And tell the audience where they might find you, or find your music, find you next.
Yes, I can be found on the web at kate-callahan.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and you can pretty much just Google Kate Callahan songwriter, and I'll come up. And what's next for me is a new album. So in March of 2018, I will be releasing an album called Triumph.
Nice. Perfect title. So play us out, because there's only a few minutes left. So
Okay.
just play something that feels good and
All right.
sounds like what you want to do.
Yeah. This is called Good Friends.